Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first match of Season 17 of the UGC League. We've got two fantastic teams here for you today, and welcome. Thank you for coming out. I'm Xiuna, and I'm here with Black Lightning, my fantastic friend. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. A little bit surprised. I've actually never heard your name pronounced before, so I just realized I've been pronouncing your name incorrectly
Oh,
this
don't worry.
entire time.
I'm a man of many names. It's all right.
I'm just gonna call you Shu.
Do whatever you want, man. Anyway, I'm super excited here. We've got some Doomfist action. I wonder if they're gonna stay on that. Oh, never mind.
No. Doomfist is great and all, but will never be as great as Torbjorn.
Truly,
always gotta appreciate a little bit of a Torbjorn action.
It is a close second. Anyway, here we go. We've got a Sombra on one team and a Doomfist on the other. He switches back to it.
Let's go. And both these teams are out in the middle here. Going to the first initiation fight, you see both these teams really just throwing everything they have. Flacco gets demeched here. That will be a big deficit for this team going forward. And there goes the Reaper.
Big pick,
as well as a Sombra.
Oh.
And the Prez is low. Prez is out, and that's your main tank. And you've already have the DMX, so this fight is already over.
It's all for Iridium. Team kill. Here we go. They got two on the point, and they're trying to set up close to their spawn here. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
But no, Iridium looking very aggressive right out of the gate, not dropping a single player on that push, and they will go ahead and use their first pause as both Polo and Dragon disconnect out of the game.
Looks like we got a few internet issues going on, but hey, I wonder how this is going to impact this fight, though, because Iridium now will only have 5 players on the defense for this point during this team fight, considering they're going to have one coming back from spawn. Now, thankfully, he wasn't that close to his ult, so they didn't lose out that much on charge, but him having to walk all the way back to point on support is going to be pretty significant.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to hurt their team comp, but the one thing that I do note that's a big one is that Rhine ultimate that Bogged Fern has. He is the only person on that team that has their ult, or any of the players on the field, and the one thing that may bite this Electron team is that they don't have a lot of shields. They have the Winston with a bubble, but other than that, you don't really have any kind of shields to go ahead and block that Earth Shatter.
If they can break the bubble, it's pretty much free. Like that's going to be their biggest worry, especially considering they don't have any other ults ready. They have nothing to pressure with other than their bodies. That's all they can use to pressure. So this is going to be a very interesting fight. I wonder how they're going to push this engage.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to determine how this fight goes. If Bogged Fern can go ahead and hit a majority of that team with their Earth Shatter off of this pause, it will definitely help them. It will give them enough time to get that support back.
And, they're coming up top here, but T-Paw's just waiting. He's still waiting. They haven't seen him yet. Oh, he's going in.
Yeah, and gets the Moira pretty low and gets the Moira
there we
out,
go.
So now they're down one. And there's the bubble. The bubble's gone, so Earthshatter's on play here. This is a huge play. The Prez is now out. Flacco's out.
They won't even need it. They're not even going to need the Earth Shatter.
There was absolutely no handicap there. They did not care having Polo or not in that situation.
No, and Polo did switch to the Lucio to make it back nice and quick. Honestly, even without him there, they got 2 picks before he even got back to the point. So it was already leaning pretty heavily. Anyway, here we go again. Kaizen finally coming up on the first ult here for Electrons. Going to use it right away. We got the Coalescence going. Slam missed! Didn't hit anyone! Oh my god, this is unfortunate. Doomfist coming in to try and compensate. We've got the mech gone, but an ultimate to counter it. Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, no. And the other thing that happened on that point was that Prez went ahead and used his Primal Rage on the point as well. So you have the sound barrier from Lucio to go ahead and ensure they get that point. Now, the next push is going to be definitely interesting. You have Aaliyah with the Gravity Bomb and Zero with the Death Blossom, so this could be a
Now
really good push for them here.
Bugin does have the EMP, so that could ruin all of their plans here. But at 73%, even if they win this point, they should have another fight to try and come back on.
Yeah.
Oh,
and there goes the
huge.
EMP, and that's going to take out a lot of push power here as there goes the Death Blossom.
Oh.
It's going to take out Flacco and Noctua, and Present Kaisen now drop to the Doomfist, and that is an entire
There we
team
go.
wipe for Iridium, as now Electrons have to reset yet again, and that is more precious time out of this match for them.
And all they have to come back in with is a Blossom and a Coalescence. This isn't much to come back in on, especially when the other team has a Grab and a Shatter. This is last fight territory. This is the last full team fight they'll get, and they're already down a Moira with no Coalescence. Oh, this is very unfortunate. The Slam did miss, didn't hit anyone. We've got the Grab on the Big Monkey. Bombs coming out from Flacco. Didn't hit anyone. They did turn the point over. Oh, but it is a lost fight for them, and unfortunately, this does look like it's going to be it for this stage.
Yeah, and you see the last-ditch Coalescence out of Moira, but she gets booped away from the point and then uppercutted by T-Pow, or TPOJ on the Doomfist, and that is just insult to injury for this team Electrons, as they've tried so hard to go ahead and get that point back, only to get denied like that at the very end. But a very, very solid performance out of Iridium here. Electron really couldn't do too much there, even when they were down a player.
No, they really had a hard time, I think, pushing onto the point. The Doomfist really messed them up a lot there, and I don't think they were expecting it when they were practicing on this map, because it didn't look like they had any idea how to counterplay against the Doomfist, even though their team fights were relatively well.
Yeah, and well, I mean, right now their team comp is actually more suited, I'd say, to this map. You have a Lucio, you have Winston, and a Diva, all with potential to go ahead and knock people off the map. So
True.
Could be interesting on Ilios to go ahead and see if they can try to use that well.
On their main tank, though.
Oh man, they're dropping people left and right.
No.
I mean, this Iridium team just seems like they have pretty much Electron just completely outpaced for the main part.
I don't know how that Winston was working for them. I think switching to the Reinhardt is definitely the correct choice. The question. Oh, and they're switching to the Doomfist. Okay, this might be what we needed to see coming out of them in order to equalize here. We'll have to see, but they do have an entire Shatter waiting for them.
Yeah, and that is definitely dangerous. We'll have to see if that plays out in this one. Really, Bogged hasn't been able to get his Earth Shatters. But they do, like you said, get Buganators and Hypernut's low. Flacco's low. Prez is out. Flacco's out. Hypernut is out. And just like that, Electrons find themselves on the receiving end of yet another team wipe.
And they are holding quite far forward here at the stairs. I wonder if they're going to fall back or if they're going to try and hold them all the way here. This is dangerously close to their spawn. They get a lot of regen from that. And playing here is... Oh, using the window might be what they need in order to hold this position for another team fight.
Yeah, but you see them pushing out to the side lane here, trying to go up the stairs, and Reaper was there, but decided to go ahead and reposition, which is probably a good idea, as you do see them finally falling back to point, go ahead and collapsing around the well, but Doomfist getting a nice hit on Flacco there, getting that engage early, getting some damage, and...
Good boop onto the Reaper there from Bugan.
Yeah. Zero down, and there's the hammer down from Prez, but I don't think he got anybody there. At least not any good damage, as the Immortality field was down. But Flacco and Prez are down, and that is going to be another lost team fight for Electrons. It just seems like they can't really go ahead and figure out how to counter this team play that Iridium is really bringing onto this field.
And we're entering last team fight territory again, and all they really have is this Diva ult. They may get a Barrage, which could help them, but especially considering the other team doesn't have a Diva, but this is going to be incredibly close for them here.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be close. And there goes the Lucio, so the sound barrier is out of the question. So this ult could definitely be big.
No.
But Flacco, what happened, Flacco? No. That is massive.
The pure damage we've been seeing coming out of Iridium X is just incredibly impressive. Honestly, both of their DPS players have just been out of their minds this map. It was a very dominant performance from them.
Yeah, and very dominant is, oh man, I don't even think that begins to describe as a very fitting play of the game for the Reaper here, going ahead with that Death Blossom kill to really just wipe out the entire team. But, man, oh man, what a performance for player cards up there for Iridium.
And look at that, on the Reinhardt there, Bugan with 27% of team's hero damage as the main tank. It just shows how insane their damage output was from both their tanks and from both their damage players. It was incredible. Incredibly dominant.
Yeah, they really know how to use their kits. They made a exceptional push at the beginning, and anytime they were going to go ahead and be on that attack, you knew that they were going to come out on top because, I mean, they all just meshed together so well. You can see that they're communicating where everybody is. Meanwhile, Electrons still seems to be trying to figure out what they want to do. And like you said earlier before we came on the stream, both these teams are new. They're new,
Yes.
either new to the scene. I forget exactly what you said.
This is their first time playing in UGC. I'm unsure if they've been around previously in other tournaments. However, this is their first time playing UGC. And we will be going to Junkertown next, which is going to be an interesting map, considering we saw how good Iridium was at playing the point. So I wonder how that's going to translate to a payload-style map, and if Electrons will be able to contest them on defense. Although, we are going to see Electrons attack first, so we'll get to see Iridium's defense first.
Yeah, and it's going to be really interesting to see what they pull out here. Bunker Comp is fairly popular for that push on the payload from what I've seen on Junkertown. So I do expect to see a Bastion somewhere in this. That or a Torbjorn.
We can only hope. We can only hope. And ideally, we might get to see both.
Yeah, that would definitely be nice.
Now,
that would be an absolute combo.
Now, I can say, from last season, we did see a lot of Torbjorns on this map, but on defense. We didn't see many used on offense, which is interesting. However, especially on second point defense, Torbjorn seems to be a relatively popular pick right now for Junkertown. So who knows? We might get to see some Torbjorn play, although it doesn't look like we're going to see it right now.
Yeah. No, not quite yet, as they go with some tried and true classics. You see Zoro on the Widow. Gonna go ahead and get that long-range coverage taken care of. And
now my question for you is, do you see the hero that TPOJ is on right now?
Yes, I do. He is definitely playing that Genji.
Genji is not a hero you see a lot in any map, really. So I wonder how we're gonna watch him play on this. It's gonna be interesting to keep an eye on.
I think the Genji might be a counter soldier pick because he can go ahead and deflect the shots coming off a soldier. Maybe what they're going for here, as they kind of expected a soldier pick, possibly.
That could be it. We just don't see it a lot. It's nice to see heroes you don't see a lot because you don't really know what to expect.
Yeah, it is definitely nice. As there goes Zero going ahead and getting some nice shots out. Flacco low. Flacco's out of the play. Prez is going to go low. He's going to be almost out of the play. He gets healed back up, though. And that is one persistent monkey as he's staying in the fight. Prez not willing to go out just yet. Flacco's going to have time to come back to the fight, though. So
there goes Prez. That's so unfortunate. It's just the sheer damage you get when you manage to Discord orb a Winston jumping in on you, and you've just got two people focusing him down with no bubble. He just melted instantly. He was only there for about a second and a half, and he was already gone. It's just really unfortunate.
That was such a crucial kill as well because he was so close to having his primal rage, and I really think that would have swung
Here it goes.
There. And there it goes, but he is Discord tagged, and he will almost drop. He does get out, though. Very close to falling, and he will be right back in it. But that may have been a fatal mistake, but the healers are there to
sneak out. Yes.
Barely getting out. And there goes Zero. And he did, it does seem like Zero did switch off of that Widow to go for Soldier. Some Soldier on Soldier. TPOJ dropping, Polo dropping, Elia dropping. So
Now,
that will be a team retreat for Iridium here.
with two hit scan DPS, you'd really expect the Genji to be getting a lot of value. And while I don't think the Genji's been bad for them, I feel like they're not getting as much value as they should, especially against double hit scan.
Yeah, that is definitely seeming to be the case. And on this push, the one thing to be careful about is that high noon from McCree that Hypernut has. So he may get focused down early here, as he's probably going to go ahead and try to find a flank route to go ahead and make utilization of that. But you do have 4 ults for Team Iridium here, so the push does seem to be in their
Here
favor
comes
for
the
the defense path.
flux!
And there's the high noon. And that doesn't seem to get anybody, as Zero is able to go ahead and kill Hypernut before the high noon could be used. So
the flux pulling everyone out from behind the shield was a huge decider in that fight. Because without the flux, I don't think they would have even been able to get one pick out of that. But just the fact that Orisa had just, that the monkey had just thrown down his bubble, and they got lifted right out from under it and just got instantly focused down by Zero on the soldier. It was quite quick.
Yeah, that was such a dynamic play, such a good play to go ahead and make utilization of. As we see Prez diving, this may be dangerous. He's low and he's out. He is out of the play, so that is a main tank down, and there goes Hypernut, so that is a DPS out. I don't know why Flacco's still in. He should have retreated, but he doesn't. So that is now a good pick to get to go ahead and reset that push. We're going to have to wait for Flacco to go ahead and respawn back out before they can go ahead and make another push on that cart.
No, that was... I don't know what they were thinking there. They needed to... as soon as the monkey died, they needed to retreat and back up, especially with a Transcendence out. Oh, and Prez goes down again before the fight even starts. They did get the revive off, though. Fantastic. They're going to be able to regroup and go in again. Especially with the grab from behind! Oh, no!
But there's no teammates there to go ahead and make anything of it. None of them were ready to push. Zarya went ahead and used it prematurely when nobody was ready for it. And that's why it caught them so off guard, because not even Iridium could have expected that Zarya to go ahead and use the gravity bomb when none of the teammates were there. No, they had already retreated, and that seems to be one of the things that's really biting Electrons in the rear right now, is that anytime Flacco's caught out, it seems like Flacco decides to panic instead of making the smart move of retreating.
Yeah. Now, they did get the bongo out here, and they did pick Zero instantly. However, the blade's coming out. They got Soldier, and let's see if they can get anyone else here. They're backing up. Unfortunately, it ends without getting anyone. Ana getting the pick on Baptiste, and they are pushing the cart. This looks like it might be going in the favor of Electrons, finally, after being stuck on this point for over 2 minutes now. Looks like we're finally going to get some progress and maybe cap second point.
Yeah, that was a much-needed stall for Iridium there. They did a good job of going ahead and killing some time off of that cart push, so all the time they can go ahead and get off of it is very valuable for them right now, as they are on that final stretch of cart push path. Hopefully going ahead and trying to push it all the way here for Team Electrons. It may not be their strong suit for holding points, but pushing the cart definitely seems to be one of the things they excel at here.
No, 100%. And Noctua on the Mercy here is just providing a very... Oh, as I say it, Noctua goes down to the Genji, and here comes Zero with Attack Visor. This fight may be over before it even started. Oh, that is just unfortunate, forcing Electrons to back up way out of the fight.
Yeah, and you see Flacco still pushed up pretty close here. Not a great position to be in, but... now they do all collapse on Flacco, making sure they're covering up that weak point. They don't want to lose Flacco and have to wait for Flacco to come all the way back on the point. Good utilization of cover here for Iridium. An interesting spot on the map. They are leaving themselves open. It is Zarya almost gets in, and there's a Hanzo ult. Doesn't get anybody. It does get Zero, not directly, but it does catch him for long enough for him to be an easy pick here.
It's a big Graviton Flux, although not much follow-up available to clean them up there. It did hit too, but there was no value got from it. This is a very close fight, and the Nano on the Winston there might be just what they need to get around this corner.
Yeah, and the Baptiste will go ahead and pop Immortality to go ahead and possibly keep Prez from getting any more kills. Now, the one thing I didn't see him do is press that Primal Rage to go ahead and possibly keep them off of the cart for longer. But good decision to go ahead and save the ult for later. If you stack up as many ults as possible at the end, I think that's the way to go here.
Especially with the enemies coming up on 3 here. This is going to be a close fight with potentially a lot of ults with the grab starting us off. Transcendence here.
Rage. I don't see Primal Rage just yet. Prez not using it. Orisa will drop the buff for her team, going ahead and utilizing the ult there to get some extra damage out. Prez going ahead, diving behind the lines. We'll get Zenyatta. Polo down.
The remake kill on the Ana! Oh my gosh.
And this is bad. This is bad for Iridium. They're going and dropping players left and right. TPOJ out. Alea needs to retreat and go ahead and get health.
They have both DPS ultimates with the... Oh my... And there goes Bugin, potentially cleaning up this point. Although, Zero is coming back with the Visor. Can he get any value, or is he going to go down instantly here? Oh my gosh. This is so unfortunate. We've got T-Poj back out on the Doomfist, but killed before he can do anything. Now it's just Ball on the point. Ball is down, and that's going to be it with 6 seconds left. That is huge that they captured with time remaining.
Yeah, that's going to help them if they go ahead and tie this 3v3. Or going further into the series. That's extra time on the clock. Yeah, I forget exactly how much extra time, but it's definitely going to help them on the overtime push if it does come to that. Now, the question is, are they going to be able to hold on defense? Because where it really seems that Iridium has shined is on attack. Defense may not be exactly their strong suit, but offense 100% does seem to be where they can shine the most. Now, the question is Bogfern going to go ahead and pick a Reinhardt here or go for something a little bit more ranged? Because I definitely see that it may be the case that the range is key on this, and we do see a Torbjorn.
Like I said, Torbjorn seems to be pretty popular, but on the defense, which is different, you know, from what you used to see with the Torbjorn or the Bastion on the cart, along with the Orisa. Don't really see that much anymore. It's too easy to focus down, too easy to rush, especially with a Reinhardt. However, on the defense, he can get value by splitting focus with his turret. Which can be really nice for the defending team. Now, Iridium is, like you said, an incredibly aggressive team, and if they can get 1 kill, they can capitalize so heavily off of it. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on the Widowmaker here, right out the spawn door, and see what happens.
Yeah, and she is not going to go ahead and be on that top door. She goes instead through the side right, misses the first shot, doesn't really get anybody with it. But Widow still hunting, gets a couple hits on Flacco, going ahead and lowering that. Hopefully she can go ahead and get some more critical targets like the Torbjorn or one of the healers.
They did get the mech.
Flacco's demeched. That's going to be huge for this fight, and now they're going to have to fall back here to a more safe position as now Prez is getting low. Half health for Prez. Also has a Discord orb on her, so that Orisa is definitely in danger here. Now Flacco has the Discord. Noctua low. There's one of your healers going ahead and taking some damage. Immortality
Torbjorn
will
on
come
the
out.
flank. Did pick the Baptiste. There we go. Although countered.
There is indeed the Torbjorn dropping. Noctua's gonna drop. Hypernut's gonna drop. Kaizen low. And Kaizen may drop here. Kaizen will indeed go ahead and go down. And we see Flacco now half health. A good push here with the same. Gets the stun on Flacco. Flacco's low. Will Flacco be able to stay up? Here, that is the question. Especially with a Sigma on the field, you don't really have much room to go ahead and maneuver around on Baby Diva because those little gravity bombs that he throws hurt a lot, and it's so unpredictable to predict where those exactly are going to go.
Black, they built that Graviton Flux in 54 seconds. I don't think I've ever seen a Graviton Flux out the door built that fast. That is absolutely insane coming from Alaya there.
Yeah, no, Alaya getting some good value out of that Sigma. And we already see Alaya's halfway to having an ult again. So this is going to be a factor in the next team fight as well, as you see them playing up pretty aggressive here, going ahead and holding them in this hall before they're finally able to go ahead and push out. So they're going to have to retreat here into that immortality field.
Oh my gosh!
Gets the barrier from the Baptiste. the amplification matrix, so that will be a huge help. Flacco in danger of being Damex, and Prez is out of the fight, but we do have the high noon from McCree. Is he going to be able to pick anybody? Doesn't look like he will, as all the shields are up, so McCree gets no value out of that. Does stall, though, before getting dropped out of the play. Mercy going to go for Rez, but Mercy
got it,
That's
though.
a huge pick.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It looks like they're going to get so much time here to push the last point. 5 minutes and 20 seconds. I don't think Electrons is going to be able to hold this, which means it's if they can't hold this, they're going to be significantly disadvantaged for time on the second push. So they need to waste as much time as they can if they can't finish off this hold. And we do see Hypernut switching to the Ashe, which might help them a little bit here.
It may help just a little bit, but it's so hard to do anything when you're losing your main tanks that soon. Flacco out of the play already, and there's a Graviton Flux. Gonna drop some health here. Kaizen gonna be low, but they do have the Immortality field up, so they're gonna be able to get everybody healed up. Flacco will be back in the play here, but the one thing that's gonna help this team, Electrons, go ahead and
still
possibly
pushing
hold
the cart.
Yeah, they're still pushing the cart, but Buganators does have the Molten Core that may come into play here if he can stay alive for long enough. He is at half health. He needs heals. Torbjorn is dangerously low. Hypernut low. Noctua low.
Here comes the dragon to try and force them out of that high ground position. Oh, this is... They have so... Iridium has so many ultimates here going into this fight. And we've got to see the Dragon Blade coming out right now, dead instantly to the turret, but did pick the Zenyatta before going down. We do see Ashe getting the Bob. Is she going to use it right on the cart? Yes, she is, to counter the Bongo Blade from Bugan. And here comes the Molten Core from Torbjorn. However, Polo does have the Transcendence to counter it. I don't know if that Molten Core is going to get any value other than force them back a little bit.
Yeah, it is going to buy them just a little bit of time, which is going to be very valuable time for them. Every second counts for Electrons as they're going to try to go hold onto that cart as long as possible.
They're forcing the high ground.
We see a Graviton Flux out of Flacco, but it gets no value.
There's no one to follow up from it.
Though. Yeah, Alaya does have Graviton, and we'll go ahead and use it on the Baptiste and Orisa. Prez low, Prez out. That is a main tank down. That is going to be a few seconds of sweet relief for Iridium. Noctua down. That is another player down for Electrons. Flacco dropping health. May not be able to do much, but there is the Transcendence for Kaizen. Going to go ahead and help hold this push a little bit. Alaya down. The Sigma is now out. That such a strong Sigma in Alaya out of the play is definitely going to hurt. Going to switch to D.Va, though, so that way she can get back to point a little bit faster.
That's 2 dragons in one fight there coming out from zero. Absolutely insane. And they captured the point. Oh, this is... They have 3.5 times the time to push the payload here, as Electrons does. This is going to be really tight for Electrons. We saw that Electrons had a decent offense, but it seemed like their defense just wasn't ready for the sheer aggressiveness that we saw out of Iridium, both on this map so far and on Ilios.
Yeah, it was a tough match for Electrons. In both maps, like you said, they do so well on offense. Both these teams so dominant on offense. But when it comes to defending, it just seems like Electrons just can't go ahead and hold on long enough for anything to really happen. Iridium definitely edging them out on offense many times, both on Ilios and on Junkertown. So it's going to really come down to this. Is a minute enough time for Electrons to really get anything done? It's going to be really tough because Iridium has been so good at stalling for time on these previous pushes.
If they can get it at least around the house to the first point area, they may have a chance of holding it. However, given the defense we saw out of Electrons last time on first point, I think even then it's quite unlikely. They're going to need a pretty serious push here to have a chance.
Yeah, they are currently sitting on a hope and a prayer now that a minute is enough time to go ahead and find them success, but they have yet to find an answer to this Iridium team. They do get some good damage out, but immediately it is healed right up. Polo and Cry all over that on the healer position, making sure that their team stays nice and topped off. But Right now, it's just some long-range poking. They are getting some good progress on this cart, but Flacco is starting to get a little low. So may fall victim to this Iridium team soon enough, but both teams getting some good looks in, but again, the heals are just consistent.
Flacco is a little bit far forward here, however, it does look like he's going to be able to get out. This is a really dangerous spot for Iridium to try and hold, considering it's pretty much just brawling, and their spawn advantage is so bad, especially with Bogan going down. However, the counterpick on Flacco might be significant enough that they can win this fight. They do need someone to touch the cart. Is anyone going to touch? Yes, okay, we have a touch, and it looks like we are going to be able to push around this corner. The question is, how far can they go here in overtime? If they get off the cart, it's all over.
Yeah, and that's one of the crucial things. If you can do anything to push them off, it's going to be absolutely huge. I'm kind of surprised to see that none of them went ahead and switched to something that has potential to go ahead and knock them off the cart, like a Lucio or something like that.
Flacco,
so they go ahead and pop ult, but
Flacco voluntarily giving up his ult charge there, switching to Roadhog and then deciding to switch back to Sigma. I hope that's not going to do them in here, although it does look like Iridium is going to try and drop down on them if they try and get around this corner.
Yeah, and you gotta know. Oh, there goes Bog's Fern. That's a big one. Elia close to ult, but may not have enough time to go ahead and build it. 98%, 99. There's Graviton Flux, but
here we go.
Oh, the Transcendence comes out from.
It got lifted up, though. It got lifted up by the Graviton Flux. It wasn't able to give healing to anyone else on the team. They had the Transcendence, but it was too far from the players because of the Sigma's Flux. That was an absolutely insane play. Now, whether or not that was intentional, I don't know. It might very well have not been. However, the fact that it happened might have just won them that team fight.
I think the idea there was just to go ahead and get them off of that cart. Mm-hmm. Get as many people off the cart as possible, because that Graviton Flux does have a fairly big time window of where the players are lifted up in the air. It's a couple seconds, and that may be enough time to go ahead and get them all whittled down low enough that they'll die from that fall. But that Transcendence, it come in handy, but only to such a small degree. As you said, it got lifted so high that none of the teammates could get any value out of it. So a huge play by Elia there to go ahead and get them off of that cart.
I have to give it to Electrons. That was a pretty good push. Getting it past first point was decent. The question is it enough for 3.5 minutes of Iridium's Omega aggressive push? Can Electrons hold them for 3.5 minutes when the last time they held this point only for just over 1.5 minutes? I don't know. I'm pretty doubtful on this one. But if anyone has a chance, it's Hypernut on this Ashe. We have seen some good plays from him so far on the Ashe.
Yeah, and it definitely helps to have range. You don't get so much value out of a Widow on this map because you do have TPOJ on that Genji, who is going to go ahead and target you immediately if he sees you on that Widow, because has to...
Prez down already! I don't know.
That's not a good look.
I don't know how they're going to be able to hold this without their main tank. Sigma's going to be relied on so much for his shield, which is going to really prevent him from going on the flank at all.
Yeah, they're going to have to retreat behind this first point, and after that, it's pretty much game over because there's so little ground there.
That's a horrible spot to try and hold, too, right after this point. There's nowhere, no high ground really to hold from that's even close to contesting the cart. And Prez goes down instantly. Again. Oh, this is... Oh my gosh, this is... The offense out of Iridium is just so dominant. Like you said earlier, both teams are clearly offense-heavy teams, but what we've seen out of Iridium, I don't think Electrons is just able to match it. It's crazy.
Not at all. And Flacco making a strange pick to go with a Roadhog here, but Prez is out, tries to get back with the Hammond, but that is game right there, as they're going to go ahead and reach that point without any kind of contestation, as none of the teammates from Electrons are able to go ahead and make that back. So that is a 2-0 start for Team Iridium X out of the gate.
Now look, I will say, the fact that Electrons managed to capture that entire map, even if they did it with significantly less time, is still pretty impressive. The fact that they were able to capture the whole map as we can see here with Bugenda's play of the game, was a pretty good showing that this isn't a one-sided match, because it's not. As much as Iridium has been quite dominant on the attack, this match is anything but one-sided. It's still relatively close, and the potential that we get some cleanup here from Electrons and maybe even see a reverse sweep. It's not impossible. We could see it.
And I mean, we've seen it before, especially out of our team Delirium in the previous tournament.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's such a huge thing. But reverse sweeps are so hard to come by, and you saw Alaya Sigma. 52 eliminations.
Alaya was absolutely out of their mind, insane on that map. That was a Sigma map, and Alaya seemed to hold the advantage over Flacco in the Sigma duel the entire time. That was a massive contributing factor to their offense, was not only the Graviton Fluxes, which were quite amazing, but the actual Sigma play in general was fantastic.
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt, Alaya Sigma is just such a good pick. And you can see just how much of an impact that has on the team. And it's just astronomical what it does for them. But the other thing I noticed was that Noctua on Electrons had 17,000 healing, so definitely doing good things in the healing category for his team, and that may help in the long run. As you saw, a lot of these pushes were fueled by those healers, and as soon as Noctua or one of the others got knocked out, it was almost game over. You lost. You'll either lose Prez on the first push, or you lose one of your healers, and you can't really afford to lose either. So Electrons needs to play a little bit more. I don't want to say aggressive, but they need to realize when they need to back out.
And Black Lightning, like you said, speaking about fueled, UGC Season 17 is fueled by Vite Ramen, the high-protein noodle that does it all. You can purchase your own Vite Ramen at shop.viteramen.com/UGC and use code UGC at checkout to save 10% off your order. It is absolutely fantastic. I personally do not have an opinion on it, as it is an American-only shipping product. However, from the many people I know who have tried it, they all say it is absolutely fantastic. Would recommend. Shop.viteramen.com. Use code UGC at checkout for 10% off. Anyway, getting in here to Hollywood, I wonder what we're going to see here and how we're going to see Iridium defend this first point.
I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. TPOJ going with an Echo, that's going to be an interesting pick. Definitely a big swing pick that may be able to go ahead and get some good damage on Electrons early. And don't worry about the Vite Ramen, all right? If you need to, I'll go ahead and mail you some. We'll figure a way to get you some.
Oh, of course. I'll get some eventually. I may just have to drive down there to a friend's house and grab some myself. But if Bugen decides to stay on this May here, we could see some pretty interesting counterplays against Zero on the Ashe with his wall. However, T-Punch on the Echo is just going to be able to shoot right over it. So I don't know if the May is going to get the value they want him to get here.
Yeah, no, May is a really great pick most rounds. Don't get me wrong.
Even on this map, it's usually fantastic. But against the Echo, I just don't know how it's going to do.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be one of the key things that's going to be targeted down is that May. Echo already getting some value. You see the health bars going down as Echo goes and gets some nice looks on the team, and they're on the backside of the point. This is a really interesting entry.
You don't see this often. However, with the May, it might be what they need. Although Noctua going down early, this fight does seem to be leaning towards Electrons. They might just have this one. That was a pretty good opener there. However, Echo is still alive with the Mercy. They may be able to snipe them out from behind.
Yeah, but Mercy is starting to get a little low. You see the damage coming out. But they do get out in time. Z-Babes and TPOG. Or OJ.
That was only 1 minute. That was only a 1 minute fight. Usually Hollywood, like a significant amount of the time, is spent on first point. The fact that they were able to capture that early, this might be a new Electrons. This might be the Electrons we needed to see in order for them to pull some wins out.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think Iridium kind of messed up on was holding so far back. They allowed them to go ahead and push up the roadway there into the A-point area before they really got any damage on them.
Look how far forward Electrons is right now. They're holding all the way on the last building.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, especially with an Echo on the field.
Yeah.
I don't see this going to work out very well for them, as now the Echo has the duplication as well as Bob. And there goes Bob out on the top, and Echo's going to go ahead and duplicate Reinhardt.
Oh.
This is going to be huge, but it both get knocked down off the rooftops. So that's going to be a lot of lost value out of this. Does get a Graviton Flux, but there goes the sound barrier. Will the Echo be able to go ahead and use the hammer down?
I don't think they will. No, they won't. Oh. However, the Lucio does go down here on high ground, and the Mei does get purpled, forcing her to go into Ice Block and go down. The cart's still moving. The cart has been moving this entire time. Even though they lost that team fight and are backing up, they moved the cart all the way to the corner of second building. It is an absolutely insane first push on this second point, especially with the fact that they still have 4 minutes remaining in their time bank. And they have 5 ults.
Flacco purple health right now, going ahead and being on the receiving end of that splash from the Xiuna. There goes a Diva Bomb. No value out of it, though.
Slept out a Shatter!
Again, no value.
Oh my gosh. Oh, huge high noon, though.
But that is definitely huge. Hypernut going ahead and getting the nuisances out of the air.
And a cleanup on Zero there.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Fantastic play out of the Cassidy there on Hypernut.
Yeah.
Why are they nanoing Bugin here?
I don't know. The Hammond is the interesting pick, the Nano, and no value out of that. In fact, I like to say you got negative value out of that.
Yes. Now they are going in here with ult after ult. They may be able to clean this fight back up, although they did capture the point. And Iridium is going to have to back up here, down 3 with the point captured. Will that Mercy get out? It looks like it.
Yeah, Z-Babe's able to go ahead and get out. Look how aggressive they're being.
This is what we like to see.
All the way up to the corner. We'll get the remech as well, so that's going to be huge for their team. Hypernut with the high noon as well. Maybe going to get some value out of that. You see how high... oh, I thought that was the McCree up on the top there, but no, that was the Baptiste Kaizen going ahead and staying above the team. Ooh, we'll get the minefield out. Boggin going ahead and getting that cart stalled for just a moment.
T-Poj is back on the Doomfist here like we saw on Ilios. This might give them a little bit more value here on Iridium, considering how brawly this last point can get. We've got the Baptiste window opening up for Electrons pretty far back. It's not going to get any value except for the healers here, unfortunately. The question is, how is this brawl going to turn out here with Zero using the Tac Visor, opening it up, and getting the Lucio instantly? Oh, no.
And he didn't even get the sound barrier down. You saw his ultimate used, and man, oh man, just immediately got lasered down by the entire team of Iridium. So retreat is the only option here. Saving their ults, very smart here out of the team, but...
Oh,
man.
no!
No! What are they doing?
It was too early!
No! Electrons too early to the punch, and they're going to use 2 ults.
No!
And that is so much value lost, as now their whole team has to reset for the next fight.
Look, as bad as that is, they did make Z-Babes use the Valkyrie. It's not like they got nothing. I'm not saying it's worth it, because it wasn't. But at least they did waste one of the support ults. So maybe there's some kind of silver lining there. But losing that Shatter and losing that bomb is going to be massive for this next fight, especially with Baptiste going down. Oh, this is going to be an interesting push here.
They do get the res on Cry, so he'll be able to go ahead and back up and rejoin his team in the fight. Now, they do have 4 more ults here. Earth Shatter back on the field for Prez, but they're going to have to retreat. They don't even need it. They're going to have to get out of there. Prez is going to go down.
Oh my God.
That is another, basically what a team wipe again for Iridium.
Iridium is Yeah.
They've switched the entire field.
They're finally starting to get a handle on themselves here. I think Iridium might just be able to manage this with ult management. However, the Shatter and the High Noon might just be able to clutch this fight up. However, even a team fight 1 here from Electrons isn't enough to guarantee a capture. The card is still too far back. They're going to need to win a fight and then brawl. The Grav here is also going to centralize the team. Oh, no!
Hyper Knight in the middle of High Noon gets absolutely wiped out. Bugan's going to get some value out of that Blazer, slowing down the team just a little bit, but that is a complete team kill. An absolute wasted push. You saw the Earth Shadow Diva Bomb and the Amplification Matrix on the Baptiste for Electron, but they're whittling down so much time, and I don't know if this is doable at this point.
And Zero with the Tac Visor is a big counter against an aggressive push, so if they can't pick out Zero first, going for a Bomb Shatter might be too risky.
And there is the Mei Wall. Now is the time to do something, and the Diva Bomb's absolutely wasted!
No!
It's thrown all the way into the back of the field near nobody. They will lose Boggs, but it doesn't seem to matter as they lose Prez, Noctua, and Kaizen in return, and now Bugan will go down. So absolutely no value out of that push, and with 20 seconds remaining, this is going to be the final push for Team Electron.
Yeah, this is an unfortunate fight. I think Iridium has finally managed to be able to hold their ground, and as long as they don't get wiped, I think they hold this for sure. This is definitely seeming a lot more solid than what we saw earlier this map.
Yeah, and time whittling down. They will go ahead and jump on that point, but they're losing health so rapidly. Hypernet dropping health, Prez dropping the... They will go ahead and pop the rally. Noctua gonna go ahead and try to force this fight to prolong for as long as possible, but it doesn't seem like they're going ahead and being too aggressive here as they're afraid of losing out, as now Prez is dropping health. Hypernet does get ult. This may get some value, but the Mei Wall does pop out. I actually think it was a little...
Prez going down!
Hypernet out before he can get it off. Kaizen and Noctua out, and that's gonna be the team fight. That is it. It's over. There's no coming back from that.
And that's the push. They had 5 minutes to capture that last point, and Iridium managed to hold it. It was a complete turnaround. The first half of that map was just Electrons absolutely stomping Iridium and walking through them with no defense in their way. And the second half of that map was just Iridium constantly holding that point with absolutely no contention from Electrons. It was a complete 180. It felt like Electrons had full control of the first half and Iridium had full control of the second.
Yeah, and one of the things I do question is why did they use their pause at the end of the round?
It is automatic pause on disconnect here. So
Gotcha.
It seems that someone has disconnected. There is no pause limit for DCs. However, we do try and keep it under 10 minutes in total for the entire match. We are going to be getting back into it here.
Gotcha. But man, what a dominant showing out of Iridium. This is the first time on defense that it seems like they're able to really go ahead and clutch up on what they were going ahead and doing and really found their stride here late into that push. And you've seen some of it earlier, but Electron's really pulling out some strange tactics, like going ahead and pushing so far up on the roof and going around the back of the point on now, that A point.
I think my commentary on that is just that I feel like Electrons pushing far on the roof generally on Hollywood would be pretty good. You get a pretty good forward hold. But against that Echo and against an Ashe with a Bob ready, it's a very weird choice because you're putting yourself in a position to be cut off from the payload and cut off from your team, which is very risky. And they did get punished for it. However, no one contested the cart during that entire fight. So really, even though they lost the fight, I think they won second point pretty handedly overall.
Yeah, no, they definitely did very well. They had it cut out for them to be really any kind of push, but taking that point was a huge deal for them. As we see again, Electrons holding back on this point. It's a interesting tactic to say the least. I don't agree with holding so far back on Hollywood, Normally, you see people up by the cars here on that bend.
Although with a Pharah on attack, holding up that far might be an advantage for them. Because the Pharah can't really flank them here. Especially, well, not easily, not until they push on to the point.
Now, one of the things that is going to bite them is that they're going to be losing their shields left, right, and center here, and Far's going to be able to get some pot shot damage into their team, which is going to make them lose a lot of health. Hypernut already low. This could help their push later, as Far is just whittling down those shields.
Oh my
god! Is out, and so is Hypernut. They're losing so much value. Flacco going low. We'll go self-heal, but Bugin is out.
Oh my gosh.
Noctua out. Prez out. Flacco needs to get out of there.
And this is an even faster capture than we saw out of Electrons. I thought the 1 minute capture was pretty fast, and now we've got like a 50-second one here. Like, this is just absolutely insane. Hypernut going down again!
Back out. No,
Oh my gosh.
no. This is not what you want to see if you're Electrons. They came with so much confidence into that first push, and mana just backfired completely. I think maybe their idea of holding that upstairs area was not a good idea after all, as man, Farah was just able to whittle them down from a distance, and then after that it all came down to just Zarya throwing bomb after bomb into that room, and none of them wanted to go back out.
Oh, 100%. It might have seemed like a good idea, but in hindsight it just turned out to be very easy to focus. Now, they do have the Winston, so playing the second point might be a bit easier, but he did get purpled instantly and forced to back up. So who knows? This point could go to anyone here.
And now, no, both healers are low. Zero is low as well. Hypernut will drop.
Oh,
that is one of the DPSs out. And there
huge
is the
Nano Barrage.
Oh, man, the Nano Barrage getting both the healers. Prez is low. Boog needs to back out, and he will go down as well as Prez.
But they only have one on cart still. Oh, finally two on cart. The cart was moving so slow that entire fight that even though they were winning, they didn't get as much value as they could have there.
Yeah, I don't know what Flacco's doing here. Flacco playing a little bit dangerous. We'll go ahead and get the dragons out on that field. Gets Cry in the process with the ult from Hypernut, but you lose both Noctua and Hypernut in that team fight. And it doesn't seem like that's really worth it, as now Flacco's getting low. Just get healed back up just a little bit.
Electrons did manage to come back out, but I don't know if they can win this fight. Zero still has absolute high ground dominance here. Now, Bogan going down does pan pretty well for them, but I still think that they're in a pretty advantageous position here. Iridium, that is.
Yeah, no, definitely. And they only lost one tank. They were able to go ahead and reset that fight pretty handily, as Noctua getting in a dangerous position there. If Iridium had focused down Noctua there, that would have been all over for that Mercy.
It's an interesting choice for Hypernut here to swap to the Tracer. I don't know how much value that's really going to get.
Yeah, no, not with this team comp. T-Paj going ahead and getting purpled almost immediately, but you get two ults.
Three ults
Iridium
there.
Popping off.
The Blade as well.
Yeah, and now the Mercy ult being used as well. So that is a whole another team reset. And it was a good stall on the part of Electrons. We'll give them credit where credit is due. But I do not believe it is
4.5 minutes here is a lot of time. And Cat's going down at the spawn point. This is not going to be good. They're not going to be able to take the ground that they need here in order to hold this forward objective spot. They can't even allow it to get into the courtyard here. The cart needs to stop before it.
Kaizen is such a huge loss on that push. On such a big and vital character to have on the field, as Bugin goes down now. Hypernut and Bugin switching McCree.
Early Graviton on cart here might be what they need to catch up, but a 1-for-1.
Out.
Both tank. Oh, this is unfortunate. We've still got Prez up, and he does have the Primal, which he's going to have to use here. He did manage to use it before sleeping, but sleeping is going to waste almost the entire nano boost on it. Oh, that was really unfortunate timing there.
Oh, and Prez is purpled, and he's going to get whittled down. That is huge for Iridium. They get a Hypernut in the process too. Flacco's down, and that's going to be it.
Iridium managing to clutch it up and win the first streamed match of UGC League Season 17. Absolutely fantastic play from both teams, especially on Hollywood. We got to see both of them shine. But Iridium's over-aggressiveness just wasn't able to be dealt with there by Electrons. I think that was the pretty consistent theme of this matchup.
Oh yeah, and a fun little fact here: this is the first map that Reaper has not had an MVP.
That is true. That is 100% true.
And it's only fitting it goes to T-Podge's Doomfist. I mean, he couldn't have... Oh man, he's just so good on that Doomfist, and it's so surprising to see that there's absolutely no counter for that at all.
No, they didn't really know what to do against that Doomfist. It was overwhelming. They did try to play the counter Doomfist for a bit, and it somewhat worked out, but the value that they lost seemed to have outweighed the value that they gained. Now, I think it is about time for us to announce our match MVP here for the first week of UGC. And honestly, there were a lot of good choices, but I think it just barely has to go to Elia there. It was absolutely fantastic gameplay on the Sigma, on the Zarya, consistently on every map. It was stunning gameplay.
Yeah, no, you got so much huge value out of Elia's tank play. And I don't think they could have gotten a better look at point if they did not have Elia on their team. I mean, like you said, that Sigma gameplay out of Elia was just absolutely
the Sigma especially was absolutely insane.
Especially on Junkertown. 52 eliminations on
100%.
On Sig. It is absolutely mind-blowing. And that's actually probably the highest elimination count that I've probably seen off of a Sigma so far.
I would agree with you. We do have Elia ready for a post-match interview. I'm going to be dragging them in here right now. Here we go, and welcome. Hey, congratulations on that match. Absolutely fantastic gameplay from you guys.
Thank you.
No, it was crazy, especially Hollywood there. The last hold that you guys had in your entire offense, crazy, fantastic. Good job.
Thank you.
Now, one of the questions I have for you, Elia, which tank do you prefer playing? Because you played so dominantly on that Sigma, but you didn't really seem to have many issues going ahead and switching around.
My favorite tank is Zarya, but Zarya's like really off meta, so I normally play Sacred Diva.
No, your Zarya was pretty good as well. Honestly, it's unfortunate that it's not used too much, but when you did use it, it was showing that you were pretty experienced on it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now, what would you say was the biggest thing contributing to your team's victory against Electrons today?
I just feel like we were really flexible. Like we knew what comps to run and to counter their comps, and like as a team we practiced a lot, so like our coordination was really good, target calling and whatnot. So I would say target calling. We have some great calmers.
It did definitely seem like you guys were really good at focusing down. As soon as you got an opening pick, it was like you rotated your focus right through their entire team and managed to clean it up a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Now, on that Hollywood push, when they pushed around the back, were you guys surprised that they did that? Because that's not a very big tactic that you see a lot.
So that was the first time we saw it. We kind of called it out once we saw they were going into that room. Unfortunately, our Orisa got like walled, and it just got unlucky from there. But yeah, we realized we needed to switch our comps, and we did, and we came back.
We watching the Orisa unable to jump down there was just so unfortunate. The wall was just barely far enough over to block her from backing up.
Such a tiny gap.
I don't know, man. Maybe like an Ana would have been able to fit through it, but no way. But yeah, honestly, good play out of both of you. Both teams were amazing, but your attack was unrivaled for that entire match. It was pretty impressive. So, congratulations on week 1, and best of luck for the rest of the tournament. Is there any behind-the-scenes people you want to shout out, other than your absolutely fantastic teammates?
Not really. It's only our teammates.
Fair enough,
We did
fair
a good
enough.
job.
All right, man. Good luck next week, and it was good having you around. See you, man. All right, Black
What
Lightning.
a very humble fellow.
Truly humble. Fantastic player, fantastic match. The DPS and the supports also amazing out of Iridium. It's unfortunate that we can only pick one MVP because everyone played amazing.
Yeah, it was just absolutely amazing. But they're saying as the mics are. Oh, he had the stream open twice.
Yeah, I was a bit worried when I saw that, but it is a little unfortunate. I don't have a professional microphone. I have a very cheap microphone. I'm not usually talking on stream. This is my first time doing it, so my bad.
I don't either. I went with the most scuffed setup that I possibly could because I didn't want to sink money into it. But thinking on this next tax return, I'm gonna possibly look at if I have enough money upgrading some things.
Sounds
my mic.
like a plan. All right, Black Lightning. So where can they find you off stream?
Well, you can always find me on Twitter. I'm very active over there. It is @LightningBlack, and I post all my times there pretty daily when I'm going live. If I remember, I'll post earlier in the day prior to the event, but sometimes I'll post it right as it's happening, so it can be a little iffy on that. But I do try to get the schedule out a little bit. If not there, you can always find me on Twitch. That is Black Lightning RL. You can go ahead and just copy that off the stream name and just slap an RL into the back of it. I'll be live tomorrow with a pretty big event. I got the Beyond Rank Caster Clash. That is going to be a fun day. But
And
that's
perfect.
about all my socials.
Yeah, and I've been Xiuna. You can't find me anywhere because I don't do anything, but I am on Twitter if you'd like. It's Xiuna Online. Don't really tweet anything, but have fun with that. And I am also in the UGC Discord if anyone wants to say hello. Anyway, that was a fantastic match, and we've got many more to go. This is an 8-week season plus playoffs, so there will be at least 11 more streams like this to come. Thank you, everyone, for coming out, and have a great evening/night here. Goodbye, everybody.